Jackie and welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about how to survive in the cost of living crisis. Remember, I promised to give you tips, so here you go. So the first tip that I recommend, firstly, disclaimer, I am not a financial guru. These are just experiences that I had to navigate. How am I gonna survive without compromising on everything? First thing I do every month, I write everything down. So I write what my income is and I write my expenditures. So that way it provides a clear picture of how much money I have to spend. My second tip is to be honest and realistic with yourself. How much money can I actually spend? How much money do I have for my bills? How much money do I have for shopping? How much money do I have for like extracurricular activity? What you can actually do. Because everybody know their income and you know what your outgoings are like. So I would say be realistic. My third and final tip is prioritize. You have to prioritize your bills and you have to prioritize how you're gonna move forward, and you have to come up with a plan. As I always say to myself, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So writing everything down, it just shows you everything that you need to do and how you're gonna do it. So get into the habit of writing stuff down. So in terms of shopping, I'm gonna tell you everything that I do to kind of keep myself above water. So my first tip for food shopping. So I am somebody who I surf the internet for deals, because deals are my favorite friend in this time. So what I do, I capitalize on deals a lot. So I look for deals, and what I do every single week, I make a weekly meal plan. So I know what I'm gonna cook Monday, Tuesday, for the whole week. I know what I'm gonna cook. So that way I can create my shopping list. And before I start creating my shopping list, I look what I've got left over from the previous month or the previous week, so I don't double buy or I don't overspend. Because remember, the aim is to keep costs down to a minimum. So that's the aim here. You know, so imagine you have some stuff leave over from the previous week. That's the extra money in your pocket. So that's the extra treat for you or the kids, if you've got kids. And write down a shopping list before you go supermarket. I know sometimes it happens to me. When I go in, I get carried away. I want everything. But what I do, I make sure I prepare my budget for the supermarket. Like I go in and say, I'm not going to spend over this. But what I do, I bring an extra, say £20 or £30. So if there's any deals on the shop floor that you can capitalize on, because deals are always good, especially if it's a product that cannot spoil, like toiletry or laundry stuff, you know what I mean. So always bring extra, so in case you see any deals that you can capitalize on. And I always bulk buy. I'm a bulk buy person. And most of the things that I bulk buy is like things that can't spoil, like toiletries, tin stuff, and laundry stuff. Because laundry stuff is very, very expensive. And I like my clothes to smell nice. So I like my scent booster. I like my Lenure. And I like, so when those are on deals, I capitalize. And the places to capitalize on these are like Wilko, Home Bargains, B&M, also Amazon. Amazon is really, really good for bulk buying, because sometimes they've got like weekly deals. They've got like things in bulk that's really cheap and they're really good quality stuff. So I would say capitalize on bulk buying. Also, Wilko is like my go-to place for laundry stuff, because Like most of the time I look out for the promotions where they're doing like 3 for 2 and stuff like that. Also farm food is really good because they've got like loads of deals, loads of good quality deals. Sometimes you can sign up for their like notification for like all the supermarkets like Iceland, farm food, because they send you like special offers, because sometimes they send you like offers for 49p, 79p for Tropicana the other day. You know, I got condensed milk for 29 pence. You can't go wrong and stuff like that. So look out for the deals and check your email, because most of the time they send the deals via email. So don't just scroll, just check all emails, you know, get into the habit. Because if you don't get into the habit of like searching for deals, you know, I don't know, but you're not gonna be in a very good spot, and you can't really change your position because you're not capitalizing on bargains, and I'm a bargains buyer. Anyway, moving on. The supermarket that I think are the cheapest, especially when you're on budget, or you know, a week where you're gonna like, I haven't got enough. So I'd say what tops it for me is Aldi. So Aldi, and then Lidl, and then Iceland. But you know, you can't get everything in Aldi, you can't get everything in Lidl, and you can't get everything in Iceland. So I say shop everywhere. For me, instead of doing the legwork, I do the legwork online. So I would look for the deal, what's going on in the supermarket. I like Okada, because most of the time I get like £20 off my shopping. Sometimes I get 20% off, 30% off. And I would say, if you're gonna use those places, what you can do is not use it too regular, because I use it to buy my Jamaican food stuff, because where I live, I don't really have a lot of Jamaican food nearby, so I like buy myself at Marks and Spencer or stuff like that. But I'm saying you have to search for the bargains, you know, to put yourself in a better position. Also, you have to shop around. Shop around is key to finding deals. It's definitely key. So don't stop shopping around. I know it might sound daunting and boring, but it's not, because when I see the deals, it's like a light bulb moment for me. So you can do the same if you want to save and cut down. So these tips are really good if you're trying to cut down and live a more meaningful life with more money to play around. Who doesn't want more money? I mean, anyway, in terms of clothes shopping, so I have got this trick that I've always used. So if I'm gonna buy clothes, like for instance, I'm gonna buy at Woohoo, I'm gonna buy at Misguided, I'm gonna buy at Pretty Little Thing, I'm gonna buy at ASOS, anywhere, River Island. So what I normally do is I normally load up my shopping cart. Then I don't check out same time. I leave my cart with my shopping for like 2 days, and within those 2 days, what normally happens in most instances is they'll send me an email to say, oh, your cart is still available if you want it, and you can have an extra 10% off. Who doesn't like discount? I do. So that's a trick that I try. I'm not gonna say it happens all the time, but it's something to think about, and it's something to try. I'm gonna say also shop outlets. You know, every brand has an outlet, and sometimes, you know, stuff in the outlet is good as well, so you can just shop around. Also, what I'll suggest as well, shop in the summer for the winter, cause it's the same stuff coming around back year in, year out. And you know, like if you're gonna do winter shopping, knits are always gonna be the same, jumpers are always gonna be the same, and you can reinvent and revamp and look nice in whatever you choose. So I'll say, to cut down on costs, shop sales, because that's key. Okay, but if you're like a designer person or a brand person, you can shop like Brand Alley. There's outlets as well where you have to do legwork if you want to shop outlets and like for designer wares and stuff. Anyway, moving on to household bills. So this one is key, and this one is something that I had to incorporate in my house to cut the cost of my bills, because when the bills rise, you know, I had to strategize and find ways in which I'm gonna cut down my bills. So stuff that I do, I turn everything off that's on standby. So in every room, I make sure the tellies are off and the plug switch is off. So that way, no electricity is going. In terms of washing, I don't wash until I've got a full load. And I've told the kids this as well. You know, sometimes I see my boys washing one socks, a vest, a school shirt. I'm like, no way. You can't be doing that. Make sure you're washing a full load. So I kind of control the washing because I want to see how my money is being spent. And for me, it's done better when I do it anyway. Although self-praise is no recommendation. Anyway, in terms of heating, what I do is I switch off my radiators, like in the hallway, in rooms that is not being used. So make sure that those stuff are switched off all the time. If it's not in use, might as well you leave it. In the kitchen, my radiator is never on because I don't need it in the kitchen because the kitchen is already warm. In terms of like how to save on gas, buy a high tug duvet. You can't lose. I've got a 15 tug and it's really, really warm. You know, when you're in the sofa, you can use blankets, and blankets are quite cheap, especially now that it's the summer coming on to the winter, so you can capitalize on that as well. And just remember, you're not alone. You know, you're not alone. Sometimes, you know, the time that we're in now, you know, you might feel left out to think, oh, I can't afford this or I can't afford that. Remember, everyone is in similar positions, and you just have to strategize and find ways that work for you and your family. And, you know, find sources, find resources, you know, and it will work. And what I want you to do, I want you to come back and tell me if these tips were useful or if there's anything else you want me to talk about. I'm gonna do a Q&A, so if you've got any questions for me, you can always drop it in the comment section. And remember to like, share and subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend that your girl Saki is always gonna come through for you with all the tips and tricks. So stay tuned for my next video, and I'll see you soon.
I got too many hoes, but they ain't you. You like to put that shit in your nose.